Act 2 of this week's ET, we're looking at the Western Conference top to bottom. We split them up into 3 groups. Group 1, teams that made the playoffs in 2008. Group 2, teams that were on the cusp. And Group 3, too many questions to really know, which includes Seattle, who were undefeated in 2008. We'll start off with the Houston Dynamo in Group 1. We mentioned them about their CCL loss and how that might have brought up some issues about age and injuries. Is this a team that 2 MLS Cups 2 years ago, right? Have they peaked, though?
Greg, I never underestimate a team coached by Dominic Kinnear. I know you have questions. Maybe at the back, are they too slow at outside back? Wade Barrett. The bigger issue for me, can they replace Dwayne De Rosario? Who's going to be that catalyst in the central part of the midfield?
Do you think Stuart Holden can be that guy? That's who they're looking for.
Yeah, I like Stuart Holden, but I like him better as a wide right midfielder. I don't think he is naturally a guy to spray the ball around in the middle of the field. And the question for me is Brian Ching and Kai Kamara, very similar players, big, strong, good in the air. Kamara's got pace, but do they play well with each other?
Well, maybe Kinnear will have to look for someone in that midfield. Chivas USA, they got some good news with Michael Galindo playing again. Eski looks healthy. It's a well-balanced team, but the question on everyone's mind is what's going on with Sacha Kljestan? Is he going to stay? Is he going to go? And how does the team deal with that?
Yeah, I think they had the experience of dealing with it last year with Brad Guzan, so pretty much a foregone conclusion. Then we're going to lose Guzan over the summer, and they made up for it. They got Zach Thornton. Kennedy did all right. Same thing with Sacha Kljestan. He's a key part of the team. I do think he will go to Europe. Preki knows it better than we do, so he's looking right now for the player that can replace Sacha Kljestan.
Well, the biggest question for Chivas actually, though, is probably the health of everyone in this unit as a team. They did very well last year considering all the injuries that they faced. Few changes for Real Salt Lake going into 2009. They've gotten rid of some of their strikers, which means Yoram Movsisyan is going to have to get the goal scoring done. He's only 21. Is he ready to take on that responsibility up top?
I really love this player. Last year, you identified and loved Morales.
Yeah.
You were right about him.
Right in behind him. So.
Movsisyan's got a great instinct for the goal. He could find the seam, find the space, create his own shot, pick up a ball by running into space. So I think he's going to do it again.
Well, the second group in the Western Conference, Colorado and Dallas, 2 teams that were on the cusp of the playoffs. The Rapids revamped heading into 2009. Gary Smith's first full season as a coach. He's got something going on out there at the Mile High City, I think. They had the most losses in the conference in 2008 and the fewest ties. Now, if they had just converted 2 of those losses into ties, they would have made the playoffs last year. So the question is, can Pablo Mastroeni stay on the field without injuries, U.S. national team call-ups, red cards, and suspensions enough to provide the leadership this team needs?
Well, first, as to the converting losses into ties, you're the mathematician. I think you're right. They've upgraded in goal. They have Matt Pickens,
That's
so
true.
he alone could have converted 2 of those. Mastroeni, I think, has committed himself. Lots of talk about going to Europe after last year, signed a new deal. He's staying in Colorado, and I think he can be that leader on the field, and he's got good help in the midfield to the right and to the left.
That's true. Terry Cook on the right, Colin Clark on the left. If Clark can have another good season and keep improving, that'll help them a lot. There's something going on in Colorado, I think. Dallas, enigmatic in 2008. They stumbled at the end. They were the only non-playoff team with a positive goal differential. In 2009, Schellas Hyman is looking for a lot from his young kids, especially defensively. They're going to be very young. But I think the question everyone wants to know, can Kenny Cooper score in 2009 like he did in 2008?
Greg, he's the real deal. I don't think there's any question Kenny Cooper is going to score goals, but the key is, will he be scoring those goals in Europe in the middle of the summer?
True.
Actually, with Cunningham there, if Cooper does go, I think Cunningham will be a better player. He's never been one to play well with a teammate. As the lone go-to striker, Cunningham will be better.
Well, Heinemann also has some talent in the midfield with Guarda, Rocha, and you know that might be where they get a lot of their attack out of there. In Group 3, you've got Los Angeles, San Jose, and Seattle, the newest team in MLS. But LA is almost a new team in 2009. They loaded up with MLS veterans now. They got Mike McGee from New York, Kovalenko from Salt Lake, Karofsky from San Jose. We've talked about Bex. He's coming back in July. So the question for me is, when Landon Donovan, who's going to score most of their goals probably, is gone for the national team, who's going to score the goals? Can Buttle do it again?
Well, first of all, I think Landon Donovan's going to have a great year.
I do too, yeah.
Edson Buttle, when he's healthy, and I know he slipped at the end of last year, I think he's a prolific goal scorer. So I still look for the Galaxy to be good. I have faith in Bruce Arena that he's going to get the best out of the players he has, and he's not done searching.
No,
he's going to add to that roster.
Well, he's admitted actually he's still looking for some help in the midfield and especially in the back. Further up the Western Coast, San Jose. They had a very quiet offseason. They've looked great in the preseason, actually, and there's sort of the sum of the parts is greater than the whole, or whatever, however that goes. The question is, will they score any more goals in 2009 than they did in 2008 when they had the fewest goals in the league?
That's really a misleading statistic. It's accurate because last year in the beginning of the year, they didn't score at all.
No.
And in the second half of the season, they doubled their goal output. They got Huckabee. He was a catalyst in getting things going in the attacking third. They've got Cam Weaver and Ryan Johnson, two big, strong players, and Bobby Convey whipping balls in. I think they're going to be good.
If Bobby Convey's healthy, I think that will help them a great deal. Now, up in Seattle, it's a great story. 22,000 season tickets sold. The first game is all sold out, as we've said many times. But what will happen when that team takes the field, actually? What concerns does Ziggy Schmidt have when he walks out of the tunnel and he stands on the sideline and the team starts playing?
Well, after the initial excitement, Ziggy Schmidt's concern is going to be, who's my real general on the field that can slow the game down, speed it up? The crowd's going to be going wild. I think Seattle's going to be very good, and I'll tell you why, Greg. Casey Keller, he had a year off. He's really looking sharp. He's rejuvenated. He's a great goalkeeper. He's going to keep them in every game.
Well, Casey Keller, the old man, is back, and he's going to have to keep them in the game, considering some of the defenders in front of them. Final bit of news, Seattle will host the 2009 MLS Cup final. This is deserved, obviously based on how many tickets they've been selling, but any concern about this artificial turf that's at Qwest Field?
Yeah, Greg, here's where I weigh in. Artificial turf, I never like it, but at Qwest Field, state-of-the-art, new field, supposed to be great.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Seattle, with their fan base, with their passion for soccer, they've been absolutely a model in this league. I think great place for the final.
Well, they've sold out the season opener on the 19th. They're most likely going to sell out the MLS Cup final as well.